Testing microphone. I think we're good to go. All right. Anyways, what's up, everybody that's watching right now? Yeah, kind of a bit of an early bird stream right now. Here at the 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, yeah, I decided to kind of make up for not streaming last night. I thought I was going to get to be on Thrall's stream last night, but that didn't happen. So, I decided I'm going to do the video I was supposed to have uploaded yesterday and just stream it right now, just so that way I can get it out there. So, yeah, I'll probably only be on here for like maybe an hour, if that, unless more people hop in. But, so, Happy New Year, everybody. I see Jason, what's up? So, yeah, basically on here to talk about like some of the most anticipated albums for this year, 2025. What's up, boss? So, I've already got like an upload schedule ready to go for this month of January. Kind of going to be slow for the first couple of weeks, but it will start picking up around the weekend of the 17th when there's plenty more releases coming up. Actually, I got early access to quite a few albums coming up, like Halo Effect, Harakiri for the Sky, and Hazard. I got early access to those, so I could do reviews for those really at any point that I want. So, before I talk about like what I'm anticipating this year, why don't I go through my list of albums I have that I'll more than likely review. So for January, we're going to have a review coming this Saturday, and that's going to be for the new Faith Extractor, The Loathing and the Noose. And that's going to be the only review this weekend. And then the weekend after that is going to be one review, and that's the Halo Effect, March of the Unheard. But the 17th, we got four. Like the weekend of the 17th, there's going to be four reviews because this year starting to do 4 reviews a week, hence why there's no Under the Radar episodes anymore, because I want to give more time to albums and do like full-on reviews. I might do a monthly thing, though I'm not sure. It's kind of iffy when it comes to that kind of stuff for me. But for the 17th, we got Harakiri for the Sky, Gravedigger, Tokyo Blade, and Sarkader. And then the 24th, we have Necrodeath, Hazard, Disrupted, and Tormentor Tyrant. And then this is where it's going to get tricky, because the weekend of the 31st, I'm going to have to like try and pump out a couple of reviews that day, because Saturday, February 1st, I'm going to be going to Indianapolis for WWE Royal Rumble. So I won't be able to post anything that day. And then I'm going to be heading back home the day after that on the 2nd. So I'm going to see about trying to get at least 2 reviews pre-recorded and uploaded before the 1st. But that weekend we got Maceration, Pentagram, Empty Throne, and Lunar. And then for February, right off the rip, first weekend, February 7th, we got Dream Theater, Obscura, Seor, and Arab Altar. I got one for the 18th, which I don't know how that's going to work, but Fractured Insanity. The 21st, we got pretty stacked releases. We got Killswitch Engage, Scour, Sacrifice, Hyrax. And then the 28th, we have Avantasia, Crown of Madness, Celestial Scourge, Fractal Universe. And then so far for March, not a whole lot right now, but Destruction, Cryptosis, Rancid Cadaver, Averse, Ad or Aid, like ADE, and Arch Enemy. So that's everything I got on my list from when I was looking up on Metal Archives. Although I am thinking about adding, I think Mark Tremonti's solo album comes out this month, so I actually am gonna probably add that to reviews, because I do want to check out Mark Tremonti's stuff. What's up, Mindful? Thank you. So that's everything that I got that's confirmed according to Metal Archives and other resources. So for everything else, though, all right. So now to talk about what I'm hyped up for the most. As far as what we have guaranteed coming out, according to the list I just went through, probably the biggest one is Dream Theater because it's the first one with Mike Portnoy in 16 years since Black Clouds and Silver Linings. Um, and I feel like he's going to add a lot to the songwriting. While the albums after Portnoy left, minus The Astonishing, were good, you can definitely tell the songwriting was missing a little something. And I think that something was Mike Portnoy, because before the 2010s, it was always a collaborative effort with Portnoy, Petrucci, Rudess, and Young. It was always a collaborative effort among those four, but Portnoy and Petrucci were like the two primary songwriters. So without Portnoy to kind of help balance what Petrucci was doing, it did feel like the songwriting was missing a little bit without Portnoy. So I'm confident that with him being back, the songwriting is going to be a little bit better. So yeah, I can't wait to hear this new Dream Theater next month. It's going to probably be the best work they've done in maybe nearly 20 years, but we'll see. So yeah, Dream Theater, Obscura is a pretty big one considering this has been the longest gap between releases, and I reviewed the last one, a Valediction. Now we got a Sonication coming up, of course, with a whole new lineup because that seems to be the ongoing trend with Obscura. Because Stefan Kummer is a perfectionist, which nothing against that. So he's got a whole new lineup, including drummer James Stewart, who's from Decapitated, or was in Decapitated at least. So that's going to be really interesting because I really liked the Valediction. I thought that was killer. And also Frederick Nordstrom back as producer, which I think he added a lot to the last Obscura album. Sailor, I'm actually looking forward to because I checked out their last album that came out a few years ago, and it blew my mind. Like, yeah, they're called atmospheric black metal, folk metal, but I thought it was more towards classic heavy metal with a lot of parts. So I can't wait to hear what this project has in store. Of course, probably one of the biggest ones for all of us is Scour because it's the debut full length of this project of Phil Anselmo and current and former members of Misery Index, Cattle Decapitation, Pig Destroyer, Agoraphobic Nosebleed, all doing a black metal / black and death metal project. And we're finally getting a full length after years of EPs and singles. We finally are getting a full length. Killswitch Engage, because this has been the longest gap in their career. It's been since 2019 since we've had a new Killswitch Engage album, so I'm curious to hear this new one. Destruction, of course, that's going to be fun to listen to. After all, it's been almost 3 years since the last one. Avantasia. I like Avantasia. I like Tobias Sammet's stuff with that band. I've enjoyed the last couple of releases from them, so I'll be definitely looking forward to check this one out. Maceration, in terms of underground stuff, I'm looking forward to that one, considering Dan Swano was the vocalist on their previous two albums. Granted, new vocalist here, but I really liked the last one that came out in 2022. Just sounds like nasty Swedish death metal, even though they're from Denmark. So we'll see how this one sounds. And then, of course, probably and also a couple more. One just for kind of bias. Celestial Scourge, I'm looking forward to because that features two members of Blood Red Throne, Gunnar, the bassist, and I forget the new frontman's name, but they're both in that band. So I'm looking forward to checking out what those guys are up to. And then Arch Enemy, just because I guess from what I hear, new Arch Enemy singles sound closer to like the golden era of Arch Enemy. So I'm curious to hear what Michael and the boys and Alyssa all have ready to go for us. I hope it's good because I've been kind of avoiding Arch Enemy for about 10 years now. So there you have it with those. So that's all the ones I'm looking forward to the most in terms of concrete release dates. Now, as far as, excuse me, as far as albums we are expecting to come out this year that don't have a release date, I see already people talking about possibly getting the New Testament album. I certainly hope so. After all, it's been 5 years since Titans of Creation, and also with a new drummer, a young gun, in fact. Although, when it was revealed Dave Lombardo was playing live for them, part of me was hoping Lombardo would have stuck around to do another album, especially doing one with Alex together. Because if you remember back in the old days, Lombardo did do an album with Testament the Gathering, but completely different lineup. That was Chuck Billy, Eric Peterson, Steve DiGiorgio, James Murphy, which killer lineup right there. But in this case, if Lombardo would have stayed, he could have got to work with Alex Skolnick, which that could have been epic. But this new drummer they have, I forget his name, but he sounds like he's a good fit, even though he's the youngest member to ever be in the band, and I think I'm older than him. So we'll see how this goes. If we are getting a new album this year, I hope. Speaking of Bay Area thrash, maybe we might be getting a new Exodus album this year. I know they've been working on stuff, so I look forward to hearing what the legends from San Fran have in store if they are indeed doing something new. One that I'm personally hoping we get this year is Hooded Menace. I thought we would get one in 2024, but that didn't happen. So maybe 2025 will be the year we get some new Hooded Menace, considering Trident a Spell, that was up there in my album of the year list in 2021. In fact, I think it was my number 3 that year behind Evil and Mastodon. So I can't wait to hear new Hooded Menace if it's happening this year. And also keep Andy LaRock as your producer, because holy shit. I see a couple. There might be new Halloween and Anthrax albums this year. Honestly, with Anthrax, I don't know if that's going to happen because they keep putting it off. And now with Frankie Bello playing live bass now for Satyricon of all bands, who even knows? And also with John Dene back with Shadows Fall, I honestly have no idea if we are even going to get a new Anthrax album. We should, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Halloween, maybe. I see. Yes, we need a new Napalm Death album. It's been 5 years. Longest gap. But we'll see. I'm trying to think of others. Like Alice in Chains. It's been almost 7 years since Rainier Fog. We need a new Alice in Chains album. Considering how pretty good the Jerry Cantrell solo album was in 2024, I'd be down for new Alice in Chains. Call Me Nuts. I think late in the year, like in the fall, maybe new Dark Throne. Because you notice a trajectory going on right now with Dark Throne. They've been pumping out releases like almost like every year and a half. Like 2021, like in the spring, then in the fall of 2022, and then the spring of last year. So I think maybe fall this year, maybe new Dark Throne, if they are actually back in the studio right now, which it honestly wouldn't shock me if they were. So maybe new Dark Throne again, which I'll take new Dark Throne no matter how quick it comes. Let's see. Of course, there's the long rumored King Diamond with the Institute, which again, who even knows if that's going to happen. Yes, we need a new Sodom. We also need a new Dismember album since they just toured together. We need a new Dismember album. Morbid Angel. Well, who even knows at this point, concerning the issues with Trey lately with his with alcohol and stuff. Who even knows? I mean, I would certainly love to hear a new Morbid Angel album, but if they are going to make a new album, make sure the production's good because Kingdom's Disdain, terrible production. I would honestly prefer I Am Morbid actually make music than not just playing Morbid Angel songs. Like, I would rather have that at this point. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other ones that could be realistic this year. Maybe new creator if they're going to go back to the studio quicker, but I don't think so. Same with Behemoth. Maybe new Cannibal Corpse. Shadows Fall. I completely forgot to mention Shadows Fall. I mean, I think we had a new single from them, and we might get a long-awaited return for them since 13 years since Fire from the Sky, which was really good. Let's see. Still thinking here. Honestly, we should be maybe getting new Queensryche. It's been a few years since the last one, which I checked out and it was pretty good. Maybe new Enslaved. Maybe a new Enslaved album late in the year, if possible. Carcass. I would love a new Carcass album pretty soon. Might get new Exhumed. There's so many albums that could realistically come out this year if you consider timeline and everything. New Bloodbath would be killer. Still thinking here. Oh, actually, a band that I'm shocked hasn't released anything new for a while, Trivium. I would love to hear a new Trivium album. Same with Mastodon, considering it's been over 3 years since Hushed and Grim. Oh, yeah, and new Gojira. I would love to hear a new Gojira album. And remember, I'm going to be ranking Gojira next month, so stay tuned for that. Excuse me. Of course, another long rumored one is Coroner, maybe a new Coroner album, but I think we say that every year and it don't happen. Same with Broken Hope. I would love new Broken Hope, but depending on what Jeremy's doing. Dark Angel, of course, that's been long awaited. Same actually with Death Angel. We haven't had a new Death Angel album in about 6 years. So maybe new Death Angel would be good. Excuse me. Yeah, new Death Angel. But let's see what you guys are saying. Bleed from Within. Never heard of Bleed from Within, but that kind of sounds like a deathcore-ish band. Who knows? What about New Annihilator? Maybe. I mean, it's been 2020 since Ballistic Sadistic. Of course, Atheist. Oh, and Gorguts. I guess we are probably going to get new Gorguts this year since they're in the studio or have been in the studio. That would be good. Hell, I'd love to hear a new Immolation album. It's been 3 years almost. So Immolation, we might get new Evil. Hopefully it's better than the last one. Yeah, there's plenty of albums that could realistically come out this year. But then as far as underground, Wretched Fate, I would love to hear new stuff from. Hellslave would be pretty cool. At the Gates, I would love to hear new At the Gates since it's been over almost 4 years. Maybe new Meshuggah. Oh yeah, Deftones. I've heard about Deftones releasing something. Maybe new Corn album will probably come out this year because I've actually liked the last 3 Corn albums. I thought they were pretty good. Yeah, new Soil Work I think is more than likely. Oh shit! Still thinking. Let me take a drink. Actually, speaking of Swedish bands, one band that hasn't pumped out anything studio wise in 10 years, Grave. I would love to hear a new Grave album. So please, this year, Grave, release something new. Same with Black Breath, even though they're from the States, they sound very much like Swedish death metal, but new Black Breath, if they're still together. Yeah, that so much. So much. Well, yeah, there's always room for a lot to come this year, and already with the first few months, we got some pretty big ones. So it's all a matter of playing the waiting game, pretty much. But I think I'm going to call the stream right there, since I pretty much got everything I needed to be said out. Um, but yeah, as far as next video, it'll more than likely be the Faith Extractor review this Saturday. And of course, I might, depending on what's going on tonight, I might be back on here to stream later on for gaming, possibly. But that depends on what my friends are doing. So we'll see. But anyways, thank you guys who came in to listen to what I had to say. But until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.